Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Red Blood back at it again with another video, and today I'm going to talk about the MoP remix issues. And normally I wouldn't post a World of Warcraft video on this channel, but this has got me so tilted. I have to make a video about it. I just have to. So yeah, I've got the forum post pulled up here. We're going to go over this first. I've got several comments from people who are in support of the current decision that is happening with MoP Remix. Not the majority, by the way. Just pointing out some of the annoyances with the MoP Remix people who don't really see the issue here. And yeah, I'm just gonna go over some of that stuff. And to start this video off with, it's bronze is like the real issue here. To be real with you. Froggers are an issue. The decisions that they've went with on Froggers is just massively annoying. I don't know why they decided to do what they did. But honestly, you can still do the content regardless of whether Froggers are in the game or not. It's just bronze. Just is completely wrecking this whole event. So we're gonna get straight into it. I'm not going to read this entire forum post. I will leave a link to it down in the description. I'm just going to talk about the stuff that immediately presents a problem. So, yeah, we'll just get straight into that. It's pretty much just these second to last two paragraphs here. So they say, looking forward, we want you to know that we do not plan to change the bronze cost of upgrading gear. We've already seen many players make the decision to upgrade items so that they can comfortably take on heroic raids and hopefully earn the large amounts of bronze available from them. The gains and power that come with increasing your item levels are exponential, not linear. And we don't want anyone to second guess their decision to become much more powerful. So, for players who primarily wish to gather bronze and acquire some of the cosmetic rewards available in Remix, many options have emerged. We're seeing some players level up multiple alts for the 40,000 bronze available from quests at level 50, 60, and 70, while other players mainly focus on earning bronze from multiple level 70 characters by doing queued content and repeatable daily quests and activities. Okay, so let's kind of go over this briefly. So, looking forward, we want you to know that we do not plan to change the bronze cost of upgrading gear. So, the reason this is an issue is obviously because it's really expensive. I can take 5k bronze, I can go buy a whole transmog set of armor, and one singular upgrade on one singular piece of gear costs more than that. That is just beyond unreasonable, complete issue. And the other issue with that is they've created this complete dilemma where you choose the cosmetics, the reason you're playing this whole event, or you choose to upgrade your gear so you don't get gatekept out of doing the content, which is just so... It's like I didn't see this problem coming. I can't blame Blizzard for not seeing this coming either, but it's an issue. It has now been pointed out, and they choose to ignore it. So, on the second paragraph, it says, for players who primarily wish to gather bronze and acquire some of the basic cosmetic rewards available in Remix, many options have emerged. The main thing that they mentioned, we're seeing some players level up multiple alts for 40,000 bronze available from quests level 50, 60, and 70. So the problem with this is this is just a sad way of doing it. This is the way I'm personally going to be doing it because I've already been gatekept out of all the content because I've spent 90 to 95% of my bronze purchasing the transmog items, which is... it's unfortunate because I don't get to see the full extent of the content, as many other players that are probably in the same boat as me also don't get to see the content as well, and this is what they're going to be stuck doing. It's just not it's just not fun, first of all. Second of all, the other problem with this too is I understand that some people have been wrongly accused of being a frogger. so they don't even get this 40,000 bronze option. So like this is immediately way less viable for them to do this, even if they wanted to. So yeah, to punish, literally this is pretty much a punishment for people who just didn't frog. Like at the end of the day, that's what this really is, because they should have nerfed the froggers. They allegedly claimed they had logs of people who were frogging. They should have just rolled back people who were frogging. Simple as that. Because um like there's just such a complete gap now between these two things, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So that's the forum post. I might repeat myself with some of these points going into the comments, so bear with me. But yeah, let's get straight into the comments. So, first one, very simple. This guy goes, "You guys are doing great. Ignore the haters. I'm loving the mode." So, when I read this comment, I think this is three things. This could be one of three things. A, he is a person who can play this game all day and can just do tons of stuff to farm out the bronze and buy all the cosmetics he wants, and it's just completely foreign to the idea that people have lives outside of this video game, especially this day and age. Like I'm 20 years old. I've played this game my entire life, um, and I'm probably the one of the youngest players playing this game still. So, just put that into perspective. Or this guy is such a casual that he doesn't even understand the nuance of why this is even a problem to begin with. Or three, he's just trolling. I don't know. I honestly don't know. You can decide that for yourselves. So, anyways, we're gonna move on. Now, this comment, this one is my personal favorite because this is just insane. So he goes, "They are not out of touch. Do your dailies, do the raids. You can get 100k bronze a day very quick. Upgrade your gear so you can do things faster. This has been the most fun event WoW has ever had by far, and I hope they do more expansion remixes without changing, I think he says change it, but I think it means changing much of the system, because the grinding is a fun part of the system. Building and working on a character, feeling the power increase as you do it." So let's get into this. They are not out of touch. Do your dailies, do the raids. You can get 100k bronze a day very quick. Untrue. This is a factually untrue statement. I don't even think you can get 100k in a day. And I'm even thinking about it, right? Like, okay, so, all right, maybe you can if you do the dailies. If you then do a normal dungeon and a normal scenario to get those daily rewards from queuing it, and then you do all the raids on normal and heroic if you can, and maybe you get 100k bronze. I don't believe that's 100k bronze, but even if it is, for the benefit of the doubt, even if it is, how long do you have to play the game every single day in order to accomplish this? That is a absurd amount of time. Like, there's just no way. Even I wouldn't have enough time in the day to do that either. Like, that's just ridiculous. So to even suggest this is absolutely insane. Like, when I see this kind of comment, I look at this player and I go, okay, he's probably a 3k plus IO player. He has a very good group of friends that he plays a game with. And he is just completely arrogant to the fact that people don't engage the game as hardcore as they do, and they are completely ignorant of the fact that people just don't have time to play the game this much. Like, to even suggest this is totally out of touch. Like, and this is just a perfect reminder of why Asmongold is the only person who has any valid criticism of World of Warcraft, because when Asmongold talks about this game, he's talking about it through the lens of the average player. What would make the average player want to play World of Warcraft? This is not it. This is not what people want to play. Like, this guy probably thinks that Shadowlands conduits were awesome. No, they fucking sucked for most of the player base. Like, absolutely. But, it's so insane that, like, it's unbelievable how ignorant it really gets out here, guys. Like it's crazy, and like it's so annoying because I see this all the time. Like Zarya has bad takes. I love, like, don't get me wrong, I love these guys. I watch them a lot. But it's like Zarya has bad takes on the game. Pika has bad takes on the game. Palamora has bad takes on the game. Benruki has bad takes on the game. Like all these people, terrible, terrible takes because they only see the game through the lens that they want to see it through. And even my own opinion of the game might not even be as valid either. But it's like, I would say I'm probably in the top 20% of players. I am a 2,700 IO consecutively every season. Whenever I play, that is. But I also have no problem quitting the game for a season or two if I don't like how it's going. I am a hard stuck 1,700 PvPer, and I am a mythic progger. I'm not a cutting edge player, so I would say I'm in the top 20%. Maybe that's a bit generous. I don't really know. Obviously, I don't have any metrics to measure that, but yeah. So we'll move on. So in this one, I'm not talking about the person that's replying to this. I'm talking about the actual original statement itself. So this guy says, I genuinely do not understand the obsession with becoming overpowered in this event. So immediately, this guy's missing the entire point of the event. Let's continue. If you want to solo heroic or even mythic Siege of Orgrimmar, you can do that on retail right now with a fresh character in quest greens. That is the dumbest statement. I will get into that in a second. Why anyone would waste bronze, he puts in quotes, on upgrading their gear only to then turn around and farm more bronze to buy the cosmetics when they are the only real reward in this event. I will never understand. Just cut out the middleman, as it were, and only log in for 30 minutes a day to get your welfare bronze from the dailies. It's about 10k a day, so you will have more than enough bronze to buy everything well before the event is over for minimal effort. I don't know, I guess to each his or her own, but I just don't understand why anyone would want to approach this in any other way / shrug. So I do kind of have to half agree with him. The last part of his statement is very true. That's personally what I'm going to do. And we should have enough funds to buy all the cosmetics, and I'm assuming the mounts. But the part that I don't like is in the first statement he says, I genuinely do not understand the obsession with becoming overpowered in this event. First of all, it was kind of advertised that way. I mean, you have the Cloak of Infinite Potential. You have gear that you can pretty much stat, like you can make stats for in any way you want. You have gems, like kind of like from SOD. Yeah, no, the whole point was to create this overpowered character. So in this small time frame of 3 months, you can have this fast-paced gameplay to farm these cosmetics. And then the second part of the statement, he says, if you want to solo heroic or even mythic Siege of Orgrimmar, you can do that on retail right now with a fresh character in quest greens. So nobody wants to solo heroic or mythic Siege of Orgrimmar. They want to be able to do Siege of Orgrimmar with a group and farm out some of the stuff. So they can use the resources from that to go buy the cosmetics. And also it's very like disingenuous to say that you could go do these raids or Siege of Orgrimmar on heroic or mythic with a fresh retail character, because like if you want to farm a cosmetic set or something from Siege of Orgrimmar, it's going to take you way longer to do that in retail. And also, the only armor and stuff you're going to get from Siege of Orgrimmar is the set that came with Siege of Orgrimmar. Like, and only for that class, too, that you're doing it on. Like, that's just such a dumb statement. Like, why would you even say that? So I don't get that, but he is right. Like, this is the strategy. This is what you want to do for sure. But like, really? Anyways, moving on. Now this guy, I have this reply and 3 more, all of them which are him. He is currently just got Blizzard's thumb up his ass. Either that or, I'm a 20-year-old virgin and I get more action than this dude. Because it's crazy how much he is simping for Blizzard. It's unbelievable. So in this post, the guy he is replying to says, so people who farm frogs for 20 hours on the first day get a pass on getting Mythic Garrosh title Paragon of the Mists because their gear never got nerfed, and meanwhile everyone else has to farm bronze for 60 plus days to get invited. That's cool, I guess. Excuse me. So this guy is completely correct. Like, this is absolutely where the problem is. Like, especially for the frogging aspect of it. Because, like, 60 plus days of, like tedious grinding to even be at a place where you can get invited and probably not even competing with these froggers. Like, no, just, you should have nerfed the froggers. You called it an exploit. You allegedly claimed you had logs of people who were frogging. You should have nerfed the froggers. Why are we trying to compensate the players that didn't frog and then also fuck that aspect of it up too? And to, like, even argue the fact, like, oh, well, you'll eventually be able to compete with froggers because like, the daily quests are giving you this legendary thing where it gives you a bunch of stats for your cloak. The froggers can get that stuff too. The only difference between a frogger and a non-frogger was that they got that early 40k bronze if they didn't even get marked as a frogger. So I don't even want to hear that argument. That's so dumb to even, like, argue that. So the guy says, getting one character to the level they can run Mythic Siege once given the absurd power, most will have almost 3 months from now and is not going to be difficult. The cloak now goes to 10 million of each stat. So he literally, like, defeats his own argument immediately when he says, getting one character to the level they can run Mythic Siege once given the absurd power, most will have 3 months from now. 3 months from now. That almost seems like that's how long the event is. And you probably mean a little bit before the event ends, I'm assuming. So, but given that fact, it's like, oh, well, I have to really work at this. Like, I had to be there in the beginning if I even want a chance to run Mythic Siege of Orgrimmar if I'm not a frogger. Really? Like, you don't see the problem with that? You don't see the problem with that. And then he also says the cloak now goes to 10 million of each stat. Why would I care about that when I can't even get to that 10 million mark to begin with? Why would I even care about that? Anyways, case closed, moving on. So this guy's replying to something, I'm not exactly sure what, but the thing he says alone pretty much kind of explains the issue with it. Daily activities reward at least 10k bronze and takes less than 15 minutes each. LFR wings take less than 10 minutes, except a few with some RP. You can run 13 of them per day with extra rewards. So he is like factually correct here that the daily rewards should be what you're doing. The LFR wings are super easy, pretty short, but there's a lot of LFR wings, and like, why? Like, again, you're missing the whole kind of point. Like, we can't, like, if we do this, if we only do this, like, we're not even going to see, like, what the Mr. Pandaria Remix had to offer, which I guess, like, to each their own in the sense of, like, what did you really want to get out of this event? But I'm trying to argue sort of every perspective of player here within this video. So, yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, like, it's just kind of like a weird thing to say. This guy says, so the commenter and when the guy replies, it's a bit, both of them I'm not, like, a super big fan of when they say this. So this guy says, you guys are turning this mode into another version of raid or die. Still baffles me. I really hope you rethink your methodology in the future versions of these modes going forward. So I don't think he's talking to Blizzard. I think he's talking to the player here. And if that's the case, well, yeah, of course it's being turned into a raid or die scenario, because raiding is how you get most of the bronze, especially in heroic and mythic difficulties. So if we are getting gate kept into the stratosphere to be able to doing these modes, and we can't farm the ways that we get bronze from the most effectively, people are going to have a problem, right? So the guy replies and he says, calling it raiding is doing some heavy lifting. You click a button, get a group, run down a hallway, roll on floor laughing, stomp everything in sight, and leave with a ton of threads and bronze. 10 minutes each wing for most. So not only is this boring, but again, like it makes my point stand even more true. It's like, look at the amount of time you have to play every single day to get all of this done. Right? Like, it's kind of wild. And so then this last post he has here, he's not replying to anybody. I think he was making his own statement. He says, I don't think people even realize how easy it is to level alts if you do LFR wings as soon as your character can access them. By level 30, you'll be at 150 XP, and by 50, close to 200%. I made a new account for this event and wouldn't be surprised if all 13 classes are 70 by the time this next week, while barely leaving Jade Forest. Again, my problem with this is why do you have to level alts to do all of this stuff? Like, and then all the problems that come with leveling those alts. Like, you don't even really get to see half of what Mr. Pandaria even had to offer. So yeah, it just this decision that they have decided to make is very annoying. In sort of like an epilogue sense, what do I think is going to be the outcome of this forum post, of the situation in general? I think that Blizzard is eventually going to fold to the player base, as they pretty much always do. I don't know if always is the best word, but like, they stand firm on decisions like this, and then they get so much backlash that they finally give us what we were asking for. And I've seen it time and time again. I'm so sick of Blizzard doing this. It's like literally the most annoying part about the company, in my opinion, is like, you know, for example, with Covenants. Covenants is probably the best example for seasons. For season 1 and season 2, all we wanted to do was to be able to freely swap Covenants. That's all we wanted, and would have been, you know, added bonus. We don't have to level the Covenant, like each and every Covenant. And they would not budge on that, because it's like, how am I supposed to raid if this Covenant's good for Mythic Plus but not raiding, you know, whatever. And then finally, I think it was season 3, right? Season 3, they budge on it. They finally let us freely swap Covenants. Game is good, but it's like, oh my god, this should have been in from the beginning. This is the situation with Bronze. This should have been accounted for, and maybe, well, not accounted for. Like, maybe it shouldn't have been there in the very beginning, but it's like, this should have been fixed already. Like, this is clearly an issue. This is clearly an issue. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say about this topic. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I don't know how often I will ever make videos like this. I do stream World of Warcraft on Kick. I'll leave a description, or a link to that in the description down below. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Hope you enjoy MoP REMIX to the extent that you can. And yeah, peace out.